What's up, guys? Brad here. Welcome back, and well, welcome back if you watched the first one. But now I'm going to talk about the equipment. So I'm just going to jump right into this. The primary equipment is going to be a frag grenade, Semtex. I've heard of that before. But then the pipe bomb, which will just be exactly like a Semtex in every way, except that it won't stick. That way it can be used for other, it can be used a little bit differently. Then an impact grenade. This will just explode on contact with a surface. But in order to balance it out, people can't just, chuck it out and oh, this clown just surprised the shit out of me. Let me blow him up. But no, it's going to throw it slower. It won't throw as far, and maybe it could have a smaller blast radius as well. That way it's not like, a panic explosive type of thing. Oh, guy, throw, boom, dead. Incendiary Grenade, so it's a timed explosive full of napalm, but it cannot be cooked. Molotov, which will have a smaller radius than the Incendiary Grenade, but maybe, maybe it will just be a little different. Claymore, but just the regular old trip mine that everyone's seen before, but you can jump over it. A bouncing Betty, you can prone to avoid completely. It won't even set it off, and it will avoid it when it blows up if you're prone, and it will emit a sound. That way people can see it better. Then there's C4, and then the jammer. The jammer basically is this manually activated thing. It will destroy nearby enemy equipment, explosives, electronic attachments. Once it's activated, so if there's a frag grenade next to you, it will just not work if you activate this while it's in your radius. And it'll disable the gun attachments as well, like the electronically based ones, like a motion sensor or something. It will also disable nearby enemy radar for a short period of time, and it will temporarily disable the ability for players that are in the radius to call in a point streak, but it's just one use. Then onto the secondary equipment, there is the stun grenade, flash grenade, the sting grenade, which will just destroy equipment, and it will blur a player's screen if in the radius. It will not work through walls like the EMP Grenade will, which will disable enemy HUD and small electronic devices. The Decoy Grenade will appear as a red dot on the enemy radar, and you get to choose what it sounds like. You want it to sound like an AK-47? Good, you're done. You want it to sound like something else? Go for it. Rather than Black Ops, it sounds like a goddamn Scorpion or a mini Uzi or something. I haven't played that game in so long. I think it sounds like an Uzi. But yeah. The smoke grenade, I think you should be able to choose your color. A tear gas grenade, that's going to basically work like a Taben grenade in World at War, I guess. And then a Tazer Mine, which is basically like a Claymore, but it works like a stun grenade, but you cannot combine it with Claymores, bouncing Betties, or C4. That way you can't set traps for people and just fuck them up or something. Then a Sonar Grenade. When you throw this, it will display enemies in the blast radius on the radar, but it will have a small radius. That way people can't just spam the shit out of it and then automatically know where you're at. Nitrogen spray can, probably the most useless thing, but I was thinking this could be used in search and destroy. So if you see a Claymore, you'll spray it with this and it will disable it for 15 seconds. That way, if you trip it, they're going to know you tripped it and they're going to know you're over there. But you do this, they're not going to even know you were ever there. Ammo box, so you just throw down this little box of ammo and anyone can take it. It'll just give you one magazine. And then the trophy system, which will automatically destroy enemy grenades and projectiles in the radius, up to 2. But this will have a smaller radius than the jammer that's in the primary equipment slot. And next I will be moving on to player proficiencies. This is just something that would, just be a minor feature. So the player proficiencies, you activate them with D-pad down. These include night vision goggles, flashlight, binoculars, which the binoculars can be used to call in point streaks such as a care package or an airstrike. The dive to prone ability, dolphin diving. Lean mode, I know the older Medal of Honor games used to do this, which when you aimed, you would just do it. You would just do it. You couldn't strafe while aiming in those games. But I think the way this would work is you would just press D-pad down, and that would initiate the ADS with the lean mode. And then if you want to stop the lean mode, you can just tap the L to stop aiming or tap D-pad down to stop aiming again, or just jump or anything just to stop the lean mode. And basically this could be used to just lean around corners. Instead of just nudging your way around the corner, you just do that, and then if someone shoots at you, just go back around. This could also help against the connection problems. Instead of running through, and then I run back and I die and I'm out in the open still. What the fuck is that about? The lean mode would probably help that too, I'm sure. Taunt, give someone the middle finger. Counter melee, this will block this will just use your gun to block any melee attack with a knife or with someone else's gun. That way you're not hurt by it. Spare magazine. This will just give you an extra magazine for your current weapon. Just one use, though. Coward's way out. This will just automatically just commit suicide. Put a gun to your face and shoot you. I don't think that would work, though, because I think suicide is prohibited in video games, but murder is not. Yes, that makes sense. Blind fire. So, I don't know how this would work. It would work on PlayStation, I'm sure of it. Basically allowing you to shift your gun in any direction, allowing you to fire around cover using 6-axis motion. I don't think Xbox has motion control on the controllers. Haven't looked it up. Don't care. But yeah, that's just that. You know, let's say you're behind a box. You want to, you know, you just lift up your controller after pressing D-pad down, and in-game, your guy will raise the gun, and basically you'd be hip-firing over the thing. Maybe to help balance this out, it would have worse hip-fire accuracy than if you actually were hip-firing, because technically you're not going to be holding it the same way. There'd be less support on the gun. And then selective fire. This will just let you change firing modes in certain weapons like an M16, M4. Hell, maybe even every gun. I don't know. Next, I will be moving on to weapon ranks, which is basically Modern Warfare 3 had this. You use your gun, it leveled up. There are 20 ranks. The first rank does absolutely nothing, but the second rank will give you upgraded iron sights, just like in Black Ops, but it was only for pistols in that game. I think it should be for every gun, and then it'll be the tritium illuminated type of thing. That way you can see better in the dark where you're actually aiming and stuff. Then rank 3, double weapon XP when using the same gun if you picked it up off the ground. So let's say you get your AK-47 to level 3, but maybe you're not using an AK-47 class. Maybe you're using an M16 class and you pick up an AK-47 later, double weapon XP if you picked it up off the ground. At rank 5, you can put an emblem on the gun. At rank 6, you get triple weapon XP when you pick the gun up, same gun up off the ground. At rank 9, you get 4 times weapon XP when using the same gun off the ground. At rank 10, you can use the D-pad up and down while you're aiming down sights to change the zoom level on scopes. That way, sniper rifles don't have to use an attachment for a variable zoom scope. I always thought that was kind of retarded, that it was an attachment and not just something that you could automatically do or something. At rank 12, you get 5 times weapon XP when using the same gun off the ground. At 13 is extra reserve ammo. At 14, you can dual wield pistols and machine pistols and create a class. But if you do this, you use equipment slower, and it's slower reloading. You can dual wield 2 completely different guns. Let's say you have a USP and a 5.7 in Modern Warfare 3. Dual wield them both, bitches. Left hand USP, right hand 5.7. I don't know. I don't think that would have any balance issues. And then at rank 16, you can have attachments or modifications not normally accessible to your gun. It wouldn't work for every attachment, but it would work for some. At rank 17, shotgun rounds have 2 more pellets per shot. At 18, you can have the option for paintball ammo and creative class. This is just completely aesthetic and a novelty item. It doesn't do anything to you, but I guess you would see, you know, the splatters on people. 19, there's more blood and gore when shooting enemies, so then you could like dismember people with any gun or something. And then at 20, you get silver, chrome, and gold camo for that said weapon. The last thing I'm going over in this video will be gun attachments and modifications. And the reason I put modifications is because some things technically don't count as attachments, and then I would usually put them in something else, like maybe proficiencies. But I'm doing this under the assumption that there are no proficiencies whatsoever, so gun attachments and modifications, here we go. So, the first one is the just regular old dot sight. It's a 1.35 zoom level. Then there's the aperture sight, which is not affected by EMPs whatsoever, but it has a 1.35. It's the same zoom. It's basically, I would hope that like similar attachments would be like the Modern Warfare 2 version. You would use a certain attachment, you rank that up, and then you unlock the better version, like red dot, aperture sight. Then you get the holographic and reflex and stuff like that. You know, the more you use it, the more stuff you get. So the holographic sight will give you improved aiming while you're turning and stuff. That way you're not like that way you're always looking down your sights, and it's a 1.5 zoom level. The next one is the reflex sight for a 1.75 zoom level. The thermal dot sight, which you when you're aiming down sights, you just press the melee button to toggle it on and off. And this will have a limited range to which you can actually detect people with the thermal dot sight. That way you can't like abuse it over range. And it will have a 1.2 zoom level, be less than a normal dot one. The ACOG scope for a small increase in ADS speed and a 4 times zoom level. The thermal scope, you press the melee button to toggle on and off while you're aiming down sights, and it has a 2.4 zoom level multiplier. And the targeting sight, which will give you aim assist, it will and it has this little dot or crosshair type of thing that when you aim at a target, it will glow. And this will have a scope version and a dot version. The dot will be a 1.2 zoom level, and the scope will be a 4x zoom level. That way you can use it on snipers and all that crap. Hybrid sight, this will be a dot and a scope. It really depends on what kind of gun you're using for the suggested zoom levels. That way it's like, okay, you want to use it on a sniper rifle, you get your sniper scope normally, and then you get your dot sight on the side, just like in Modern Warfare 3 campaign. And then you would, for other guns, you'd get the little type of ACOG and dot sight or something. Then the sniper scope for non-sniper rifles, and now on to undermounted stuff. Grip for less recoil, but this is only on light machine guns. The 40mm launcher. This will give you. You can either choose an explosive impact grenade, an air burst, a flare, or any secondary equipment that is a grenade, and you get 1 round. An underbarreled machine pistol. Now to balance this out, it would have to be a small magazine. It would have to be weak, just like the Master Key. It's a weaker shotgun with low ammo count. Underbarrel laser sight. This will increase your hipfire accuracy. Then the Master Key and a bipod, which will reduce recoil when you're prone or mounted on a ledge. The grip pod, which is a grip with an internal bipod that can be ejected at any time pressing D-pad left. That way you get the benefit of both worlds, a grip and a bipod. And then a bayonet for stabbing people at longer range, and you don't have to switch to your knife. And then the next one would be the ballistic knife, which will act just like a bayonet, but you can launch the blade at enemies with D-pad left, using it sort of like, a grenade launcher without an explosive, essentially. So make it just like the ballistic knife from Black Ops, but it's a gun attachment. Then dual mag. Every other reload is faster. Triple magazine. 3 mags are clipped together, and the first 2 reloads are faster, and the third is normal. Extended magazine for more ammo. A drum magazine. Assuming you're not using it on a light machine gun, it will give you slower mobility and a slower reload, but will give you 60 rounds. Shotgun magazine, so any shotgun that reloads by individual shells will just give it a magazine, so like a Spaz, a Striker or something, give it a lot faster reload. And then the assault rifle LMG mag, this will just slow down your mobility, it'll slow down your reload, and it'll give you 100 rounds. Then a muzzle brake will give you less recoil, but increased muzzle flash on your weapon, but this will only work on pistols, shotguns, and sniper rifles. Then the suppressor for staying off the radar. Sawed off. This will give you more mobility on shotguns and along with more damage, but it will also increase your bullet spread, so you're less accurate from the hip and aiming down sights. Electronic sensor. This is a side-mounted screen that will detect nearby equipment. Then the motion sensor is a side-mounted screen that will detect nearby players who are sprinting, and only sprinting. And then the ammo reserve, so sort of like the M1014 shotgun in COD 4 or Modern Warfare 2, you have the spare bullet holder on the side or whatever. Well, this is basically that, so it'll just give you extra ammo use when you're out of ammo. That'll just be held on the side of the gun, but enough for 1 magazine. And then a shoulder stock for submachine guns that will give you less recoil. And then the carbon body modification, which is faster movement speed because I don't know what most weapons are made out of. I would imagine plastic and metal, depending on the manufacturer and the type of said gun. But the carbon is light, so this will make a lighter gun, move faster, etc. It's essentially lightweight, but as an attachment. And it works, I think. Then rapid fire, so the faster rate of fire, but decreased hipfire accuracy. And then the repeater mod, allowing any non-revolver pistol to shoot fully automatic.